Ladies and gents, PepperBelly here. You guys may have heard about Unreal Engine 4 being released for free, so pretty much anybody can download it, and along with that is the ability to play through the exact same launcher that launches the engine, Unreal Tournament's pre-alpha, the new Unreal Tournament, Unreal Tournament 4, if you want to think of it like that, even though there is no number, it just says Unreal Tournament pre-alpha. But regardless, it's a hell of a lot of fun. And I'm insanely excited to be able to see that this game is currently going through development and it's going to be completely free for everybody. This was actually mentioned quite some time ago, so this is not new information. This is actually quite old, as there has been footage over a year old from the pre-alpha showcasing pretty much the same thing you're seeing now, just with less detail. So how is it? Well, it's pretty much like any other Unreal Tournament game, except it's kind of going more back to its classic roots, not kind of the way that Unreal Tournament 3 did things, which a lot of people didn't really like. I thoroughly enjoyed Unreal Tournament 3, and in fact, it was pretty much the only Unreal Tournament I really got into. And if you guys have been with me for a very long time, you'll know that I used to support this gaming platform that was called OnLive. Unfortunately, it failed miserably. And that's something else entirely. I'm not going to discuss that. But basically, Unreal Tournament was one of the biggest games on that platform. And I played it extensively to the point where I was the second top player on the entire player base for OnLive, except for one guy. And I remember that one guy very well. His name was The Future. And he was an asshole. I'm kidding. It's just, I'm saying that because he kicked my ass, like, all the time. I couldn't beat this guy, whatever. Like, he was so good, he would make me kill myself. Which is embarrassing to say, but he was a very, very good Unreal Tournament player, and I was obsessed with Unreal Tournament at the time. I was like, I absolutely love arena shooters like this. As much as I love realistic tactical shooters and realistic shooters as well, I absolutely thrive on the adrenaline and speed and precision and twitch shooting that is required for these types of games, for arena shooters, and they're so much fun, and Unreal Tournament is something I've always thoroughly enjoyed. Although, like I said, I only really played Unreal Tournament 3. I've only, like, and I'm talking the old ones, like 2K4, I think it's called, or the old Unreal Tournaments. I haven't played those for a very long time. When I have, my time was limited, and I was very young at the time, too. That's another thing. Those games are quite old, and I was obviously significantly younger back when they were released. But, regardless, here it is, Unreal Tournament 4, and it's looking absolutely fantastic, regardless of the fact that the environments don't have any graphics whatsoever, except for two maps that have actually been completed, and they look pretty nice, and you'll actually see it at the very end of the video. One of the maps that's completed with actual textures and graphical fidelity and lighting and environmental effects and whatever, etc. So, this also brings up another thing that I thought about immediately. The fact that the environment, this is a pre-alpha, right? Pre-alpha. What other game do I completely support and try to cover as much information as I can that's in pre-alpha as well? Interstellar Marines, tactical shooter. Let's look at the environment comparison here. Pre-alpha and Unreal Tournament, all the environments are plain, completely, like there's no any textures whatsoever that I was mentioning beforehand. There's just nothing. It's just as simple. It looks like a 1999 game, you know, like really old environments. You can almost compare it to Halo 1, like some of Halo 1's environments back in 2001. But again, the game is in early phases of development. Graphical textures and whatnot for the entire game, just the overall appearance of it, isn't very important at this stage in development. And if you think about Interstellar Marines, the game's in pre-alpha. Technically, games that go through pre-alpha don't have the environments completed yet. And the fact that Interstellar Marines has decent graphical fidelity in their environments in its pre-alpha state, I mean, this is kind of like a thumbs up to that dev team for what they've achieved, and it's just kind of to also alleviate the worries of those who think that Interstellar Marines wouldn't get the same graphical treatment that every other game does. Hawken is another perfect example of this. I was also in the pre-alpha and the alpha and the beta for that title. I was invited to participate. I had to sign a non-disclosure agreement, and I played it, and it also, I remember during the pre-alpha, it had no textures whatsoever. Every building, everything was literally just made of giant white blocks. And there was one road. There was one road texture, I remember that, and that was it. So the point I'm trying to make is that pre-alpha games focus mainly on just setting the gameplay down, setting up everything so it works, it's functional, it's polished, and then during the beta phase, towards and nearing release, is usually when they start to, okay, now we can actually start changing and adding textures and really improving the overall appearance graphically for our title. Because if you really think about it too, when you start development, let's say I started developing a game right now, 2015, and then 2 years from now is when the game's going to be released. Now, if I started focusing, 2 years isn't a long time for graphics to be that much of a difference. If you really think about it, some games that come out like now still look like games that were released 2 or 3 years ago. But when you really think about it, 2 years is a long time to really focus first on graphics, on making the game look decent before it's even really ready. You know, just getting the appearance that looks astonishing, and then 2 years down the line, it may not look that good. And who knows, there might be more engines that are released. Like example, Unity 5 just came out yesterday, which is great. So Interstellar Marines is actually going to be going through the process of upgrading to that engine. A lot of developers are going to be converting over to that engine. You think of Republic, that game was actually, I gotta say, pretty interesting. And it changed from the Unity 4 engine to Unity 5. Of course, it's different platforms because it went from iOS to PC, so naturally it's going to look better. But the dynamic lighting that's been included, or the global illumination that's been included, makes the game look far better on PC. And I don't even think Unity 4 had that available option in its engine. So even if they ended up porting the game over from iOS using Unity 4, it probably would not look anywhere near as good as it does right now on Unity 5. So the point I'm trying to say is that games will eventually look better. Like the earlier stages of your games is purely just that, the early stages of their development. They're not going to look good. You polish and you finalize everything towards the end of development once everything is pretty much completed. So for those of you who are worried about Interstellar Marines thinking the environments look plain, trust me, I'm right there with you. I really wish the game would look something like Alien Isolation. You know, just very detailed, attention to detail, very nice environments, believable environments. I would love to see that. But anyway, this is kind of a little bit off topic. It has nothing to do with Unreal Tournament. But then again, there's not really much to say about Unreal Tournament other than the fact that the game is freaking great. It's a lot of fun. And you should definitely check it out because it's free. The game is going to be free for every single person. If you're a fan of arena shooters, if you like Quake, then give it a shot. I know Quake and Unreal Tournament are kind of like different. They're both arena shooters, but they're characteristically a little different. And usually people are kind of like fans of one or the other. I'm an Unreal fan. I've always loved playing Unreal. But considering this game is going to be free and it's going to look amazing when it's completed, and again, the last clip you'll see from this video will show you the new environment detail that they've actually came out with, because there's 2 maps that have actually, like I said earlier, have been finalized and actually look completed. And it looks fantastic. Unreal Engine 4 is surprisingly very, very well made. So again, if you like chaos, you like killing each other, you like arena shooters, by all means, you should definitely get your hands on Unreal since it is free. My name is PepperBelly. Thank you guys for joining me today, and I will see you guys on the next one.